Hey folks, we are going to be seeing our next game here. We're going to see 5 going up against Usagi Fan Club.
All right, so 5. Unfortunately I have not seen too many of these players. According to some information here, however, Axis and Rip Yams have both won SOS 206 on the side of 5. Cyrene has usually tended to place around 9th in SOS, and Ignite is coming back from a decent sized break, having not played SOS since 190. However, Usagi Fan Club I know are pretty we're pretty regular players for SOS. At least back earlier in the year. They have a lot of notable results. Second in 212, the previous SOS. They placed first in 205, as well as second in both 204 and 203 for SOS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Usagi Fan Club definitely is a current, modern, just high podium team here for SOS, consistently getting that first, second, and third place across multiple SOS in such close relation as well. That's something to be worried about. But as well, on the other side of things, 5 definitely has a team that has a legacy here in SOS as well. And even though one of their own members is coming back from a bit of a longer break, though, they made it this far right out the gates, which I think speaks up in and of itself as to what this team is capable of here. And I'm just very excited to see exactly how things are be playing out here as we head to now from a best of 3 to a best of 5 here. We're going to be seeing this match kick off at Museum d'Alfonsino.
Oh, museum zones. To say I have shifted my opinion on this map would be an understatement. Thanks, Ellie, for that. This map definitely has its fans. It definitely has a large favor towards weapons that are able to remain in neutral a lot more. Generally, the map generally tends to find a lot more success, again, with backline comps, or comps that are more suited around playing around with a backline, given the fact that it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication to actually move over to the opponent's plats, which is where you would want to push them up to in order to actually lock them out of getting to the zone. But with how hard it is on this map to actually do so, you generally don't tend to see as much, or at least you don't tend to see that much focus being towards locking people out on the middle of the zone.
Yeah, no, this definitely is a bit of a more weird map for zones. I think you covered a lot of the weird parts already here, but I mean, the general overlay museum is that spinner control is still vital here, no matter which game mode you're in. So, depending on how these teams play and what they want to do, we might see a fight for spinner at maybe at some point, especially when trying to go for those lockouts, as you mentioned earlier. Taking control of the enemy spinner is going to be crucial for keeping that up here. But no, as we're waiting and just seeing exactly what's going to be happening next year, folks, as I mentioned earlier, we are moving from best fives as we are in the later stages of this bracket here. So a few more games and a few more opportunities for these teams to clutch up if things are looking a little bit dire, or take this to the full run of the 5 games if it's a back and forth flip.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some, I guess, pretty standard, but also some pretty interesting maps here in the remainder of 5. We see Zone's Macomart. That has been played since pretty much the dawn of time, but is probably played since the dawn of time for a reason. We have Zone's Ship Shape as well. I think definitely a more relative newcomer overall, even though it has been played for a while since its introduction. I know that there was a good period of time where it tended to not see as much play, and potentially later, if we end up going past the game 3 here, we have Zone's Barnacle and Zone's Umami, 2 maps that I think are relatively similar in how you have to approach them, but definitely play a lot different when you get down to
Yeah, but in order to get to that first, folks, we still have to get through this first game, and oh, I see we already have a disconnect. Back-to-back games, we have a disconnect, folks. It happens. Nothing a quick remake can't fix here, but yeah, that actually is kind of funny to see.
Give it up for disconnect number 3.
Yeah, I mean, 3 back-to-back rounds of disconnects. Really, what more can you do at this point? I'd rather just hope that players can fix things on the fly really quick, head back in the game, and we just, pretend that never happened. Because honestly, it actually never did happen.
Mm-hmm. What I will say, though, is I definitely saw some interesting weapons being picked. Some of the teams couldn't exactly get a glimpse as to who was playing who, but I definitely saw Custom Blaster as well as the Crab Stamper. 2 weapons that, at the very least, in terms of Custom Blaster, I have definitely seen it around in the US, but Crab Stamper I've not seen in a while.
Yeah, no, with Stamper, that's an H3. Hello. All right, no. Going to Stamper real quick. Yeah, Stamper, you typically see the vanilla version of it. Not to say that this Stamper is particularly bad. Also, the blaster fell off already. That's crazy. But no, the Stamper, not the Crab Stamper is bad at all. It's just people tend to prefer the vanilla one, which with good reason, But no, already right out the gate to see a bit of a standstill for both these teams, especially going out to try and maintain dominance over one another. But a good shot from the H3 shuts down the Stamper.
Honestly, like, the H3 here is a very solid pick, in my opinion. It definitely helps to get out of lockouts here, as Usagi Fan Club is still trying to get back in, but you just have so many weapons here that are both able to help with lockouts, but also get out of them with a lot of weapons and reach from a very far distance here. You see the pro end up trying to push Usagi Fan Club out, but wasn't able to find anything. Another Booyah coming out on the side in order to help the S-Blast on their on 5's side move. As we see Usagi Fan Club finally able to take the zone here after a whole minute of not getting any points on the board. Whether or not they're going to keep it here is yet to be seen, however.
Yeah, no, good defense from 5 to be able to counter this push from Usagi Fan Club, but they're not done yet with Tactical Online. They definitely want to press this advantage as much as they can, especially now with mid practically cleared at this point. They're now looking to try and see how they want to approach the enemy sprinter and see how they want to try and take control of that to slowly lock Usagi Fan Club, or slowly lock 5 out. And now Usagi Fan Club with another Tactical Online, they're looking to try and gear up for this next push.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how much of a flip this game kind of went. We saw 5 trying to push up on Usagi Fan Club, and now we see Usagi Fan Club trying to push up on 5. And we have just seen the reverse happen once again. 5 taking the zone back and is starting to gear up to counter any push that Usagi Fan Club is trying to prepare, as we see a Crab popping out on the side of Usagi Fan Club looking to take some picks here.
Yeah, Crab to try and apply some pressure, though. The strikes come to try and counteract and alleviate some of that pressure here. But Usagi Fan Club's not want to let it go just yet. Stan going on the right hand side to keep keep Axis distracted, keep them from being able to actually skirmish, actually fight. And because of that, Usagi Fan Club was able to clean up the rest of the remaining members of 5, and now setting up for a true proper push and hold here. Leaf not wanting to let this go just yet, goes in deep, finds 1, finds 2, and now in the enemy bats here, this could be absolutely devastating hold for Usagi Fan Club.
Having both a Crab and a Splash down here on the side of Usagi Fan Club is honestly really helpful here, especially since 5 was starting to try and make a pushback. As we can see here, 5 is just not able to find any place to get in. After Usagi Fan Club, even with the Booyah and the strikes coming out, another Booyah as well, but almost all of their members ended up going down. They will have at the very least a cooler going in, but it might not be enough time.
Yeah, no, the push that Usagi Fan Club did on to Spinner there was just absolutely too much. It spiraled too far out of control for Five to be able to recover from that. And with that single push, they were able to secure the game. Even with going down with one or two players near the end there, maybe giving an opportunity for Five to be able to push up there. There was too many other pieces on the board from Usagi Fan Club to be able to defend that, and it definitely was a sight to behold.
Yeah, I think honestly, I was mostly interested in seeing both of the comps that each team brought to the table. Both of them, almost pretty much all of the weapons had either a special that could be used from a or could be used as well in a lockout situation in mid to push back in or maintain a. Definitely showcases a lot of how Museum is generally tends to play. But now, as we move into Mako Mart, I'm interested in seeing if any of these weapons will remain at all, considering how Mako Mart generally does. It weirdly does tend to feel the same in a lot of ways to how Museum plays.
Yeah, what Makomar has here though is that there's a lot of just ledges and elevation differences that honestly I would put money down that the blaster stays at least in some fashion, whether that goes to a different blaster kit or moves on over to S class or something else along those lines, right? Because blasters here, as a blaster player myself, I really love this map because it's just all the ledges you can hide under and be annoying with. So I generally would be surprised if the blaster left, but the wild card for me here was on Five side with the H3. I really don't know what that weapon. I mean, I know what the weapon does, but I don't know what it does here in this setting, and I don't know if it will stay here. But no, switching off, we see Axis go to something more classic, something more traditional with that Splash-O-Matic.
We see on the side of Usagi Fan Club choosing to remain with the same comp, but on the side of Five, we see them switching out their H3 for a vanilla Splash. Probably a much more consistent option for helping with the paint here, as we see Usagi Fan Club immediately going one down, and while they do have control of zone, we see another Crab out here on the side of Five, able to assist with getting a pick, as Five is starting to push in to the zone here, still just kind of remaining in neutral, with Usagi Fan Club starting to also push back in against the pushes. Two Booyahs come out.
Yeah, both wheels being thrown out here means that Five loses a bit of pressure here as the crab tick is used by Usagi Fan Club to try and apply some pressure here. But the big difference between these two teams I'm seeing here is that Five has a bit more of a bit more consistent painting power, while Usagi Fan Club has a bit more better fighting power. So really, it's just gonna be boiled down to a lot of how these fights play out and how these players approach each other. We do see Five get a little bit overzealous there, overstepping just a little bit, and immediately quickly punished there, losing 3 players, and Usagi Fan Club moving in to clean up this fight and really taking a solid hold here as their first push.
We immediately see right back again. Five is able to find 3 picks on Usagi Fan Club and take that zone right back. I do think that at least the change to Splash is definitely helping a lot more, even if strikes are maybe a stronger option overall for confirming spot zones takes. But we see, however, the Crab is just pushing Usagi Fan Club back and not able to find anything, as they have to use their own Crab in order to try and find anything in. But they're still not even able to take the zone or even push off of their plant consistently.
Yeah, no, Five has a lot of paint output right here, which makes it hard for Usagi Fan Club to push in. But breaking the wall a little bit, pulling some distractions, they're able to immediately just slip in the cracks, quickly move in, take the picks they need to be able to take the zone, and just dismantle Five one by one, piece by piece, in just in a matter of seconds, as now they have the zone. They don't have that many penalty points to run away with, or to get through, so they're able to start running away with these points here to get themselves up to try and go for a potential loose lockout at the very least. But no, Usagi Fan Club does lose one player now. Five looking to try and make sure they can flip the zone and get it back under the control before they lose the lead, and it's a bit of a tight race between these two teams, but Usagi Fan Club comes out on top and takes the lead.
this match has honestly been very back and forth. It feels like there's been a lot of moments where Five has been able to take the lead, as we can see right here now, or take back the zone. And Usagi Fanclub is just pushing right back in. It doesn't feel like either team has been able to get a consistent hold onto the zone, but I guess that really does showcase just how good these two teams are, as we see Five immediately coming back in, looking to take points off and regain their lead on the.
Yeah, it's looking possible here, but 2 going down though might mean that this attempt to get back their lead, get back into their position they were earlier, has been snuffed down. Now with 1 minute 30 seconds remaining, Rip Yams on the right hand side on their map, looking to try and see if they can pull something, anything, but no, 3 down yet again. Usagi Fanclub is now looking very dominant here. A lot of blue is on the map, means that Five has to eat through a lot of that pain in order to even think about contesting the zone here. It's looking really dire for them.
Yeah, I mean, Usagi Fanclub again, just consistently again taking their lead. Well, Five does have 2 specials on the board. With their Booyah Bomb coming out, it may be again, once again, too late, too little, too late. Yeah, we see Usagi Fanclub here just 2-1 and taking the zone here, against Five. Overall, very definitely a very close game. That ending though, just kind of, it definitely felt like it spiraled there towards the end, in Usagi Fanclub favor.
Yeah, it was a very back and forth game, but as you mentioned at the end there, something happened from Five that just kind of spiraled out of control for them. Usagi Fanclub finding that one weakness in their armor and just absolutely using the best of it and being able to just dismantle Five piece by piece. But they're still not out of it just yet, though, folks. Even though that in the previous portions of this bracket series means that they would have been out at this point, no, because we're now in the later parts of the brackets, as I mentioned earlier. This is a best of 5, meaning they have at least one more chance right here and one more attempt right here to try and take this back. And we're going to be moving on to Shipshape Card Company to see Five's last stand against Usagi Fanclub.
I gotta be honest here. I kind of think I want to see the H3 come back out. I think the H3 has enough painting power that it would be fine on its own, and having the extra support with the strikes, especially on a map like this where it is a lot easier to line them up and take control back on the zone, would definitely be very helpful for Five.
Yeah, but it seems unfortunately though no H3 in sight for Five. It looks like they're wanting to try something that's a little bit more well-rounded and more consistent in this scenario, which I think the thing that H3 struggles with is the thing that most chargers in general struggle with, that in order for it to be mostly useful, you have to be able to hit your shots, and hitting the 3 shot from H3 is not that easy, let me tell you. But no, Usagi Fanclub though, moving quickly around the gate, getting a delayed wipeout here, or true wipeout actually against Five, meaning they're going to be quickly moving up, quickly moving in, and setting up for this devastating Glocka scenario that this map is known for.
Yeah, Usagi Fanclub here, they have switched out for a Zuka here. Definitely a lot more killing potential. Unfortunately, is going to go down, but they still have some amount of time left to actually try and get back in, even though they are pretty much at another wipeout here on this map. Both of these weapons are very good for getting out of lockout.
Yeah, I mean, this is such the most devastating thing about this map. If you don't have the proper special rotation here to break through a wall like this, Usagi Fanclub is absolutely running away with this game, and at this point, there's no way that Five can be able to make it to the zone in time to be able to contest it here. As Usagi Fanclub with a dominant showing, 100-0, they're gonna take this game 3 and send Five packing. Not home just yet, folks. Here in this later part of this bracket, no, they still have a 3rd place match to go play out, but they are no longer in the running for the grand final seat.
That last game, it definitely felt one-sided in comparison to a lot of the previous games. Honestly, I really wish we could have seen more of the Zuka on the side of Five. It definitely felt like it was trying to help keep up with some of the aggression and some of the faster paced that Usagi Fan Club had been running, but unfortunately, we are not going to be seeing that Zuka or Splat Zones on Barnacle and Dime, at least right now. I mean, it could be in finals, but
Yeah, no. And speaking